I know it's been a while. We going to talk about the let's look at a simple introduction to Newton's laws of motion, or a simple intro to Newtonian laws of mechanics to be a little more fancy. Okay, so Newton's three laws. The first law loosely states an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion. Now, this is a this is a very rudimentary definition here. There's a bit missing, but most people would be familiar or probably have heard about this before. Now, the bit that's missing that is very important here, comma, unless acted on an external force. Now, this is a bit where a lot of textbooks and a lot of people tend to omit. Unless acted on by an external force. By an external force. Let's analyze this bit here. So, an object in motion stays in motion, an object at rest stays at rest. The object in motion stays in motion. That's hard to see on Earth because if it pelts something or launch something or any object in motion, it would eventually slow down due to either gravity or a combination of frictional forces. So gravity and a combination of frictional forces would eventually hold the object. But let's consider like if you're in space and you launch something from your spacecraft and your spacecraft is isolated, meaning like the object you launch, there's no other masses around it to exert any gravitational force. The object would just continue in motion forever. That's the part where the external force comes in. If an external force acts on an object, it would not stay in motion and it would not stay at rest. Because like if you have something sitting on your tabletop, it's at rest. But if you like push it, it's no longer at rest because an external force, the act of you pushing it, um, no longer causes it to be at rest. Now I know that's a bit of an overkill over there, but it's worth the time thinking about this properly. Now the second law, we could just put this for now. Okay, let's put the words. So the rate of change of momentum is direct. The rate of change of momentum on an object. Let's always forget that part. On an object is directly proportional to the force applied. So the rate of change of momentum of an object is directly proportional to the force applied. So what this is saying here mathematically is F is equals to D on dt. Momentum is mv. Now we could rearrange the right hand side of this equation a bit and we would end up with F equals to m, because mass is constant. Well, at this level we work with questions where mass is constant, and we will get dv on dt. Velocity is the quantity that's changing here, and that is what we know as F equals ma, because dv on dt from kinematics or calculus, whichever branch of math you learned it from, it's acceleration. So the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied, leads to this formula here, F equals ma. Now the third law, I ran out of space. Let me clear something. Yes, I use Paint. What I realize is, like, a lot of these softwares that do this, the resolution is not as good as Paint. I just write very scrappily, that's why it looks like this, but somebody who writes neat, it transcribes the writing so immaculately. Now the third law is if a force acts on object A, then an equal and oppositely directed force acts on the object B. Now let's analyze this a bit here. This is the one where a lot of people says for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, but that is not scientifically correct. You have to specify force and that kind of thing. So the best way I like to explain this to students is, like, imagine if you have a scuffle in school or a fight in school, and let's say you were the one to throw the first punch, and let's say you get called to the principal office. You could argue and you would be correct because it's a law of physics. A law of physics is never wrong, regardless of your feelings towards it. You could argue to the principal that yes, you punch the next person, but at the same time, the next person hit your hand with the same amount of force that you punch him. So, who is the one that really get hurt here? I mean, yeah, you would still get in trouble, but you would be correct, because if you punch someone regardless of where you punch him, if let me say it's on their jaw will exert the same amount of force on your hand at the impact, at the moment of impact. That's Newton's laws there, an intro. Well, let's say a grade 12 or Form 5 and above intro.